In a quiet, little town, nestled between green hills and a gentle stream, lived a kind-hearted woman named Uma. Her home was a simple cottage, framed by a small garden and fruit trees, where a wooden fence whispered secrets to the breeze. Uma had no children of her own, and her husband had passed on many years before, yet she was never truly alone. Her constant companion was Poppy, a small hen with soft white feathers, black spots on her wings, and a bright red comb. Poppy was more than just a hen. She was a friend. She followed Uma everywhere, from the garden to the market, clucking softly as if adding her own thoughts to their conversations. The villagers would often smile at the sight of the Muma with her steady cane, and Poppy waddling faithfully by her side. Every morning, just as the sun began to paint the sky in shades of orange and pink, Poppy would lay a single, warm egg. Uma would collect it with her gentle, wrinkled hands and whisper, "One is enough, my dear. May we always have just what we need." She lived a simple, contented life. She would eat half the egg for breakfast and save the other half for her dinner, tending to her garden and finding peace in the small moments. But one day, something unusual happened. Poppy laid 2 eggs instead of 1. Surprised, Uma simply smiled and said, "Well, now that's generous." She cooked one for herself and took the second to the market, selling it for just enough to buy a handful of rice and a small piece of jam. The next day, and the day after that, Poppy continued to lay 2 eggs each morning. Soon, the villagers noticed. "Uma, sell both eggs and make more money." Some add beast. Others suggested feeding Poppy more so she might lay even 3. A few even encouraged her to start a business, to get more hens and build a small fortune. But Uma only smiled gently and replied, "One for me and one to share. That's enough." She began giving the extra eggs away. She gave them 2 families struggling to make ends meet, 2 hungry children playing in the streets, or sometimes she'd just quietly leave one on a neighbor's doorstep. A silent gift. People began calling her Egg Uma, a name filled with affection and respect. Then, the monsoon came. The rains were heavier than anyone had seen in years. The stream overflowed, flooding the fields and washing away the crops. Many families were left with nothing, facing hunger and hardship. But through it all, Poppy faithfully laid her 2 eggs each day. And because Uma had been sharing all along, she had also saved many, boiling and pickling them for just such a time. She handed them out to anyone in need, never asking for a single thing in return. One rainy afternoon, as Uma shared her precious eggs, a group of villagers gathered around her. "Uma," one of them asked, "why didn't you sell more eggs when you had the chance? Why didn't you save up for yourself and make more money?" Uma looked at their curious faces. Her eyes filled with a gentle warmth. She replied, "Because true happiness isn't about gathering more and more. It's about loving what we already have and sharing it when the time comes. I kept only what I needed. The rest was always a gift, meant to be shared." Poppy, nestled by her feet, clucked softly, as if to agree with every word. Uma understood something profound. True wealth isn't measured in coins or possessions. It's found in the richness of compassion, the peace of contentment, and the joy of a giving heart. By lifting others, we lift ourselves, and that is where true happiness lies. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more stories that inspire and uplift. Until next time, take care and be kind.